Alrighty. So, we are live here again. We are here again to talk about this Monday night football game that just went down. What an ending to week 4. What an ending. This was a dope ending. How do you feel about week 4 before we get into this game? How do you feel about how the week 4 went this today, like this weekend? It just was crazy how it went.
I think it was about four fourth quarter comebacks this week. And making 5 with this game. So this week was great. A lot of exciting games. A lot of fourth quarter comebacks. It was good. Good football.
No defense in week 4.
None.
I'm gonna just keep it a buck. It just wasn't no defense whatsoever in these games. Like, it was just high scoring, or you couldn't sack the quarterback. You couldn't do this. You couldn't do that. It was just a headache. If you had a defense in fantasy football, and shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They did what they were supposed to do as far as fantasy points wise. And you had the Bears. So, like, that was even more crazy, the fact that you had the Bears. Man, let me tell y'all something. This game right here, Patrick Mahomes, I can't say enough. I can't say enough about this kid. This kid was absolutely phenomenal tonight. And just before we get into, like, the real breakdown of this game, I don't know if you saw the stat that the commentator put. He put that from outside the pocket.
Yeah, he was 192 yards.
192 yards. That haven't happened in a decade. A decade. It haven't happened. That's ridiculous. I can't even... I'm just mind-boggled by the fact that he was able to do that against a great Denver defense. Mind you, Denver's defense was pretty solid tonight. They was pressuring Patrick Mahomes. They was making him make difficult throws, not timing throws whatsoever. But they was making him earn it in the first half. They was making, even Case Keenum, they was making Case Keenum earn it in the first half as well. But from your perspective, since you watched the game, what do you see from this game? Like, what do you actually see? Like, what did you see in this game from Denver or Kansas City?
From one point, I saw Denver couldn't stop the run that saved their life. All they kept doing was hunting right up the middle. And it just seems like it won't go nowhere. And on the vice versa, Kansas City couldn't stop Freeman and Lindsey. They couldn't stop that from saving their life. But then, as it came down to crunch time, you know Mahomes is going to throw. Why do you leave people wide open, especially Kelsey? For the most part, Kelsey was being contained, but then you unleash the beast, and them two clicks, throw the back from there.
Yeah, because I'm kind of happy the fact that they got Kareem Hunt in the running game. He was the NFL's leading rusher last year. Like, I don't understand why you was not getting him in the game whatsoever. Like, in the first 3 to 4 weeks, I didn't understand that. He had almost 100. Let me pull that up anyway, because I know he had a nice little rushing today. Rushing, he had 19 carries for 121 yards. And 1 touchdown, and they won the game with him. And I felt like with this game, Patrick Mahomes it's hard to sack that kid.
He's another Russell Wilson. You can't sack him.
I wouldn't say Russell Wilson used to be like that, but Patrick Mahomes is more elusive than Russell Wilson. Like, Russell Wilson had no choice to run. He had no choice to run. But with Patrick Mahomes, he steps up in the pocket, still looks upfield. He's Still looks upfield, and if he don't see nothing, he takes off. If he sees something, he'll throw it halfway across the field for like 30 yards.
I don't know if you peeped. Did you peep the play? They had put Tyreek Hill in motion, and then he did this whole circle motion thing. I was like, what is that?
Oh, that's the Andy Reid effect. You don't know? That's the Andy Reid effect. That's what they do. That's exactly what they do. And Andy Reid, well, that's what I liked about Andy Reid in this game with him. He knew that he was in a hostile environment. They knew that he was going to go up against one of the craziest crowds in NFL football. And every time they did a 3-and-out or a field goal or a touchdown, he sat right next to his quarterback, and they went through the game plan together. And that's how they end up winning the game. I mean, Denver had plenty of chances to win this game. Plenty. Especially the open wide pass that he missed from Demaryius Thomas. I'm like, how can you miss that?
How do you? Why that probably would have got you a touchdown or a game winner, because there's no way you leave Demaryius Thomas that wide open and you miss.
I think that's the most wide open I see Demaryius Thomas all season.
Well, he getting up there in age, so they want to go with Horton and Emmanuel Sanders. But still, he's reliable though.
He's a reliable big man that could still jump and get the football. But I just want to break down these stats because Case Keenum, he didn't throw not one touchdown pass today. He was 21 for 33, 245 yards, and he had that one interception. And that one interception by Eric Murray, not looking back for the ball, right. It just catching it with one hand. And I think he noticed with the tight end going up and getting it, he just put his arm over it and just locked it. So that was
a heck of a pick.
And that was the only turnover into the hook and lateral, the so-called hook and lateral.
Right, they ruled that incomplete, so they won the fumble.
Absolutely.
They should have just caught the ball. They
but
still might have had some minutes to clock it.
I think they still would have lost the game in that, because the fact that by the time he caught the ball and he got tackled, it would have been 12 seconds and they would have had to run up and spike it. I don't think they would have had time.
They still had 5 seconds left on the clock when they I mean, look, it don't hurt. One shot, you never know what happened.
Yeah, that's true, but the thing of
Aaron Rodgers.
But Case Keenum ain't no Aaron Rodgers. So that we're not going to even throw that out there. We're not going to even do that to ourselves and try to put Case Keenum in the same category as Aaron Rodgers, because you're going to make me pull out that bad man. You're going to make me pull out that Stephen A. out me. Don't do it. Don't do it on this live podcast. I'm telling you. Listen. Case Keenum, he put up okay numbers, but he ain't no Aaron Rodgers. But listen. Patrick Mahomes, he threw the ball 45 times tonight. 45 times, 28 for 45.
Because you got Kareem Hunt involved. He hit his receivers.
28 for 45, 304 yards, and a touchdown.
And he had one for himself. He ran one in.
This is another thing that gets me, right? This is another thing that gets me. Travis Kelce was shut down the whole second half. The whole second half. He had 7 receptions for 78 yards and a touchdown all in the second half.
What happened for the secondary? Why y'all stopped?
You know what they did? When Chris Harris stopped covering Travis Kelce, that's what happened. You end up putting Brandon Marshall, the linebacker, on him, and now he has a better matchup. When you would have, because now, see, Sammy Watkins got injured in this game.
Right. He
got injured in this game. So what he did was they put Chris Harris against Travis Kelce. But what?
Why they?
You know why? Because they started to see Kareem Hunt out the backfield. They started to see other weapons touch the football, and that's what made Chris Harris get away from Travis Kelce. Man, I mean, Tyreek Hill had 9 receptions for 54 yards and no touchdowns. I think he was kind of shut down to me. I mean, he had a big run on the kickoff, and he had some okay catches, but I feel like 9 receptions for 54 yards. I think that's pretty impressive to keep him out the end zone.
You know that little midget can fly.
Can fly. One like a 4.2, probably a 4.1. Who just don't know? You just don't know at him. But I want to get into Denver's side of the football. I mean, Kansas City does improve to a 4-0, but I'm not gonna take nothing away from the Denver Broncos because of the fact that Philip Lindsay and that Royce Freeman.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Another 1-2 tag team.
And they both rookies. They are both rookies. Royce Freeman was drafted by Denver. Philip Lindsay wasn't even drafted at all.
But the crazy part is he's a hometown kid.
He got the call right after the draft was over. It made the 53-man roster, and now he's a 1-2 punch. With Royce Freeman, that was the best thing Denver could have did as far as a running back situation. Is make right. And you gotta think about it. It was kind of balanced from both of them. Lindsay had 12 carries for 69 yards in the touchdown. Freeman had 8 carries for 67 yards in a touchdown. That's pretty balanced in between 2 running backs. That's more balanced than Freeman, Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman in Atlanta. That's more balanced. I actually like that tandem. So I'm kind of mad that they in our division, but we talk about that another day at another time about my Oakland Raiders. Emmanuel Sanders only had 5 receptions for 45 yards. He was kind of shut down today. Sutton had 3 receptions for 51 yards. He's a rookie, so of course we're going to expect that. But I don't know how to pronounce this tight end's name. But
tight end, he was balling tonight too.
Surprisingly, he only had 4 receptions for 57 yards.
Well, I look like, that's probably the big plays that made it look like he seemed like he had more touches and stuff. But,
Demarius had 4 receptions for 24 yards. So I'm like,
they need to get Demarius involved. They know that they can't throw on the outside when it's just times like this. You know they're going to run out of bounds. Why not hit the big man over the middle? Or you overthrow him.
I mean, I understand Demaryius Thomas is a big threat, but what you need to do is y'all need like Julio, like I was saying about Julio Jones in Atlanta. Y'all have to move him around. Y'all have to put him in the slot. Y'all have to do something creative to get him involved. There's no way that this guy with so much talent is just nonchalant in this offense. I just don't get it. And then he was nonchalant, finding out that my Raiders are not the worst defense in the NFL. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm kind of proud of my team about that, knowing the fact that we gave up 42 points yesterday. But at the end of the day, Demaryius Thomas should have had a field day with these corners. And only thing that
Eric Berry.
No Eric Berry. Like that was just something that I just figured something would have got through Denver's mind right now. So I'm going to go into the next gen stats because I'm going to go into it here. So I'm just going off of Patrick Mahomes' next gen stats because Patrick Mahomes was just crazy. So he was 28 for 45 for 304 yards and a touchdown. He was 4 for 4 for 52 yards in between the 10-yard line and the 10-yard line in the 20 in the 10 between the 10 and the 30. He was 4 for 4. So that's kind of above average of what I see here on the next gen stats. But in the first quarter, he was 5 for 5 for 33 yards, which that's kind of above average. So it's like just his QB rating, it's just I can't say much about Patrick Mahomes. Like this guy is crazy. Like his fastball carrier was 18.9 miles per hour when he threw the football.
He got a cannon.
The longest completed air distance was 36.2 yards by Patrick Mahomes. Wow.
Did you see when he was getting pressured and then he decided he wanted to use his left hand and still
Oh my God. Like, yo. I was sitting here looking at this like, y'all let this guy put the ball in his left hand and just flick of the wrist. Like, this is what we do. He's making it look easy against a Von Miller and a Nick, what's his name, Nick Chubb?
Nick Chubb, and they was getting crazy problems. He was getting through and pressuring him. Holmes got away.
Oh my God!
You can't tackle him.
For some,
he was like, get off me, throw, and it'd be halfway downfield. Catch.
Yeah, it definitely would be that way. But listen, this guy is the real deal.
And he's good on the run. He runs that ball and rolls out and pew.
Like, he will roll left and throw all the way back across the field. That's what he would do. Which is crazy to hear, but he pulled off a Brett Favre type of game. He really just pulled it off because, like, a lot of quarterbacks can't do that in the NFL.
Nope.
They can't. They can't do it in the NFL because of the fact that, like, they don't have the mobility as Patrick Mahomes. But what makes Patrick Mahomes great is he did it under adversity, being away and putting the ball on the money.
Especially in that air in Denver.
The Mile High Air, listen, that shit got me hot just from watching that game. Okay? It got me hot from just watching. Like, I'm fanning myself right now because that game, I didn't want to leave the couch. I was washing clothes, doing other stuff, but I didn't want to leave the couch because this game was so good. This game was so awesome to a point where it ended with a great week 4. It ended with a great week 4.
Kind of how last week did with Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but I think this was more of a closer game than the Buccaneers and Pittsburgh. I mean, they both was close games. I see that we getting great Thursday night games. We getting great Monday night games. We getting great Sunday night games. Man.
Not this Thursday.
Well, listen, you just never know. Look what Andrew Luck did. Look what Andrew Luck, they could have won the game against Houston. But you just don't know what you're going to get. And Tom Brady haven't been playing his best either. So, you know.
Tom Brady to go sit down and play with his kids.
But let's just get back into these teams. I got the team stats here. And I'm going to just break it down for y'all. Because this was, like, according to these stats was definitely an even game. It was an even game. First downs, Chiefs 22, Broncos 21. Passing first downs 13-10, Chiefs. First downs from rushing first downs 10-8. That's the win they won in Denver. First down from penalties, it was tied at 1-1. Third down efficiency. This is where the Chiefs win. They were 7 for 15 on third down, and Denver was only 2 of 11 in third down.
Can't win games like that if you don't convert thirds.
You gotta convert the thirds. There's no way you gonna win a football game like that if you don't convert on third. Then on top of that, time of possession. This is another big factor. Time of possession was 35:02 for Kansas City Chiefs. It was 24:58 for Denver. So technically Kansas City was on the field damn near half of the time. Wow. Let's get into it. Kansas City had more total plays. It was 72-59. Total yards 446-385. Kansas City Chiefs. They both had 10 total drives. Yards per play. Denver won by a couple tenths of a yard, as you could say, yards per play, 6.2 to 6.5. We already know they won in the passing game. Completion percentage, we already seen that. Yards per pass, 6.6 to 6.1 Kansas City Chiefs. Rushing. Denver won in the rushing category for 142 to 159. That's another way you should have won the game. Just keep running the football. Sometimes you get desperate and you're down and you feel like you just need to throw the ball, but you just need to stay with your game plan, especially if you got the time to do it. Then Denver only had 3 penalties for 25 yards. Kansas City had 10 penalties for almost 100 yards, which is considered 93 yards. How do you lose? I just don't. Come on. Like, looking at these team stats, it was only 1 turnover out of the whole game. So it was a clean game. I didn't see a lot of roughing the pass. I don't think I see a PI or roughing the passer tonight. I don't think I saw it.
Denver should have mixed it up more. I think it should have been more with the run. It would have set up the passing game.
Yeah, I think Freeman, 8 touches is really not enough. You still got to make it more balanced on the rushing attempts for Denver. I mean, you really don't have that 1-2 punch in Kansas City. I mean, you do have Spencer Ware, which he can run the football, but you got so many weapons. It's hard to have everybody on the field. So with Denver, what you should have did was you could have put one of them in the slot and have one of them in the backfield. You probably could have both of them on the field at the same time and make your offense a little more creative. But guess who's the offensive coordinator for Denver? Bill Musgrave. How you doing, Bill Musgrave? How you doing? How it feels to be a Denver Bronco and not an Oakland Raider. I see why you lost the game tonight when you do a hook and lateral. You gotta be kidding me. Bill Musgrave as the offensive coordinator.
The dumbest move ever. I don't know what he was thinking.
Honestly, I think you don't go for that type of play with 12 seconds. If you got to get a little more deeper down the field to get closer to the goal line, for you to get down there, get set up, and spike the ball. You could have had like 3 seconds left on the clock where you could have ran one more play and probably would have won the game. You could have did that. I just don't. It's Bill Musgrave. It's Bill freaking Musgrave, man. That's why he lost his job in Oakland, because of stuff like this. Bad play calling. Bad play calling. I mean, I understand he got the weapons and all, but now this division is right now Kansas City is 4-0. They are top of the AFC West. Now you have Denver, Chargers, and us. We're last. Oakland, we're last in the division. Denver is 2-2, and Los Angeles Chargers is 2-2. Out of those 3 teams, who do you feel can make a run with these Kansas City Chiefs?
In that division?
Yeah. Outside of, Denver, Denver can already do it. We saw it tonight on Monday night. But out of still, Denver got to play them again. So I would keep Denver in there. So Denver, the Chargers, or Oakland Raiders. Who you feel like they could be that number 2 team in that division?
I'm going to say Denver. San Diego. See, they still San Diego to me. The Chargers are still banged up on defense. I mean, Rivers can't do it alone. You got Melvin Gordon on the offensive side. I think I like Denver in this scenario. They do have, they got a good front with Von Miller and Chubb. And then they have weapons on the offensive side. I think I would say there's more. I think Denver could top off Kansas City. They're gonna learn from this game.
I think if it was the best of the offenses, I would go LA just from offenses alone, because both defenses is not playing well. But I feel like the Chargers defense the Chargers offense has a better offense Like as far as like not receiver wise, but I feel like with Phillip Rivers back there, anything can happen. So offensively, I do like Denver. I mean, I do like the Chargers, but defensively, I like Denver. I think Denver could get to Patrick Mahomes. I think they're going to learn from this game. Once you see them in the second game when they play again, I feel like the adjustments is going to be made. I feel like if it's speaking of the Denver defense, I gotta say something to the head coach, Vance Joseph. I gotta say something to him. It's 2nd and 30. Why are you playing man?
Right.
Why are you playing man to second and 30? There's no way he should have got all those yards back. Understand he's been doing magical stuff, but that's when you go into a zone, play a cover 2 or cover 3 or with 2 safeties that's underneath that don't make sure it keep everything in front of you so you could get them in a non-manageable 3rd down. But no, you want to go man-to-man because you thought it was okay to go man-to-man. And Travis Kelce kill you all second half.
It was a crime the way Kelce was just. It was a crime.
7 receptions and it's almost 100 receiving yards. He has 73, but still all that happened in the second half.
Bad. You thought Mile High was hostile. They going to Arrowhead next. It's more going to be hostile.
That's going to be just as hostile. But I think Case Keenum know how to play in hostile environments. He did it last year in Minnesota, but this is Kansas City we talking about. This is Kansas City. Like you can't do nothing. It's hard to win in Kansas City. It's hard.
For once, I think Denver's found. Not saying finally found a quarterback they was looking for. I mean, he's better than Simeon, obviously, and they're finally putting pieces around him. If they get a couple more keys on defense, I think Denver will be back up, the playoff contention. But they starting with the 1-2 punch they got.
Yeah, they starting with they gotta keep Philip Lindsay and they gotta keep Royce Freeman there. They gotta do that, and Sutton is gonna come into his own. He's a rookie wide receiver. He's gonna come into his own. He just gotta gel with Case Keenum a little bit more. What I do see, what I've learned from this Monday night game, that Patrick Mahomes is arguably the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Just from what I'm looking at, just from what I saw tonight, he could be the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
MVP.
I can see it. I can see if he keeps up the pace that he is now, knowing the fact that he didn't throw 3 or 2 touchdowns. He threw 1 touchdown, but he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't fumble. He didn't throw an interception. He don't have no interceptions on the year.
He's going into week 5. That's crazy.
He's going to week 5, and Ben Roethlisberger has more interceptions than Patrick Mahomes. Tom Brady has more interceptions than Patrick Mahomes within 5 games. That's crazy to me. Right now, if the season would have ended right now, Patrick Mahomes would be the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
He would be the MVP of the league and probably with his team in the playoffs. If the season ended after 4 games. Kareem Hunt is a phenomenal running back. But Andy Reid, you got to give this cat the ball more. And it proved tonight.
He was always pass happy.
No, he wasn't. Well, if you really think about it, it's kind of like what he had in Philadelphia with LaShawn McCoy. With Kareem Hunt.
Right.
So like he could catch the ball out the backfield, but as far as running downhill from east to west or north and south, that's where you need Kareem Hunt at. It takes so much pressure off of Patrick Mahomes to do what he do best. Play action, all these type of motions that they have. It look like like the annexation of Puerto Rico. That's what it was looking like out there. The annexation of Puerto Rico. From Veruski out there. You just don't know what Andy Reid. You just don't know what you're going to get out of him. But what me personally, what I've learned from this Monday Night Football game, that the Kansas City Chiefs are 4-0. Denver has a great defense. I am definitely impressed with Nick Chubb. I don't even think they got a sack on him tonight. I don't even think so. Let me look that up. Because I don't even think it was a sack even made.
They might have got to Keenum.
No, I'm talking about on Patrick Mahomes. I knew it was a few sacks on Case Keenum. I think they got to him a few times tonight. I think they got to him they got to him 4 times tonight. They had 4 sacks. Denver did get 1 sack. And that was a part of the, like, they considered that a sack because it was intentional grounding. So they kind of, like, added it as a sack.
Nah, that's not a true sack.
Well, you kind of think of it is because, like, he was in the tackle box, his knee was down, and he threw it to nobody. So, I mean, it's considered a sack, but the penalty was with the sack at the same time. But I feel like this Kansas City Chiefs team is just getting better. They're behind Patrick Mahomes. You could tell they moved on from Alex Smith. They opened up the playbook more with Patrick Mahomes. And I see why they call him Showtime. I see exactly why they call him Showtime. As far as Denver, what I've learned from Denver, that Denver has a good, solid defense. In Case Keenum, they're a good football team. They 2-2, and they just gotta find a way to not give up points when it matters. Because I think that Kareem Hunt rushing touchdown with like a minute, like not like a minute and some change left, it took the heart out of the whole building. So it took the heart out of Denver as well. So that's what I learned from this Monday night game. What'd you learn from this Monday night game?
Trust in Mahomes. But no, all jokes aside, when Patrick Mahomes came to play, he opened that playbook and he spreads the ball around. He gets Kareem Hunt involved, and he doesn't see anybody he picks off. But you know how Kansas City's track record is. They stay hot, and then go on to the playoffs, they choke. But we'll see if that changes itself. But yeah, he has an arm, he has a cannon. I want to hear what the receivers say when they catch one of his balls. I know they can too. I know they can.
So how you feel about Denver? Like, I mean, I think Denver shouldn't be ashamed of how they played tonight. I just think the last call was just a bad call to do a hook or lateral at that time. Right. So, as far as
like I said, Denver, they're starting to come around. They're starting to get their little pieces together. Like I said, they got that 1-2 running game. They've been winning since they haven't really had a running game. Let's not say since we might as well say since Terrell Davis, and then you had Steve Anderson, and then he left. So then you have had these 2 studs. They are only rookies. They're studs. They up there with the 1-2 punch with Kamara and Ingram, and So Denver, I think Denver will be fine. They need to just go back, regroup, watch some film, and think of some other things you need to do. But y'all can't put a linebacker on a receiver or somebody like Travis Kelce.
You should have kept Chris Harris on him. That was the key factor in the game of why they was the Chiefs was end up to get into a rhythm because they was able to get Travis Kelce involved. They had Travis Kelce frustrated. It was bumping him at the line. They were just dominating them in the first half. But now second half goes and y'all switch up your strategy because due to the fact that other receivers were getting open, it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense. So, but the Chiefs got a tough game next week. This high power offense is going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars defense this week in Kansas City. That's going to be a great game. That is a 1:00 game. And I think Denver plays this weekend. I think Denver plays Sunday. Yeah, they play the Jets. They going into New York. So I can see that definitely being a win for Denver. But you just don't know. It's any given Sunday. And this was a great Monday Night Football. Keep bringing the great games for Monday Night Football. Keep bringing them. Keep bringing in on Thursday Night Football. They definitely got to show up and show out on Thursday Night Football. Sunday Night Football, I think it's going to be a great game. I think we got Dallas in the Cowboys and the Texans. Sunday Night Football, that's going to be interesting to watch. So, with that being said, man, this is the Spotlight Sports Talk. This is our recap of the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos Monday Night Football Live podcast recap. We're going to keep doing these every Monday, Thursday nights, even Sunday nights, depending on how good the game is. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down stat by stat, break it down by breaking it down. But please, we suggest that you subscribe and hit that alert button to get all the latest news in sports. You know, baseball playoffs is coming for baseball. Hockey is coming back. We got a lot to talk about, especially basketball. We got to get into basketball. You know, we saw LeBron James. We saw LeBron James do what he do in the preseason. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. So please subscribe to our channel. Hit that alert button. Get the latest news in sports. And see us on all social medias. And we'll see y'all in the next live stream. More going to be coming up to y'all. We got our week 4 recap and our week 5 picks video coming up. So definitely keep a lookout for that. It's the Spotlight Sports Talk. And we see y'all in the next video. And we out of here.